This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets.
A global food crisis sparked by Russia's invasion of Ukraine escalated on Wednesday as Indonesia tightened curbs on palm oil exports, adding to a growing list of key producing countries seeking to keep vital food supplies within their borders. The conflict in Ukraine is threatening global grain production, the supply of edible oils and fertilizer exports, sending basic commodity prices rocketing and mirroring the crisis in energy markets. Palm oil is the world's most widely used vegetable oil and is used in the manufacture of many products including biscuits, margarine, laundry detergents and chocolate. Palm oil prices have risen by more than 50% this year.
The International Energy Agency, IEA, could release more oil from stocks to ease surging fuel prices and will draw up an action plan to swiftly reduce oil usage, the head of the agency said on Wednesday. Oil prices rocketed higher after Russia, the world's second-largest crude exporter, invaded Ukraine and the West toughened sanctions on Moscow, stoking fears of supply disruptions to an already tight market. Next week, as we did for gas, we are coming up with a 10-point action plan how to reduce oil in a hurry, Fatih Birol told an energy conference in Paris.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
Asia's liquefied natural gas, LNG, demand growth may cool this year as buyers balk at record-high spot prices pushed even higher by Europe's shift to the super-chilled fuel amid the Ukraine crisis, analysts and industry sources said. High spot prices since late last year have already slowed trade and are likely to crimp demand growth of the fuel in Asia, the largest consuming region, even as some countries see widening gas supply deficits as domestic production falls. This comes just as new LNG buyers in Asia, the Philippines and Vietnam, are set to enter the market later this year.
India's fuel consumption rose 5.4% in February compared with the same month last year, the biggest year-on-year jump since August 2021. But soaring oil prices could slow the recovery in the world's third biggest oil importer and consumer. Consumption of fuel, a proxy for oil demand, totaled 17.57 million tons for the month. Data from the Petroleum Planning and Analysis Cell, PPAC, of the Oil Ministry showed on Wednesday. While India has been on a recovery path until now, high oil prices at present could lead to some demand destruction, said Refinitiv analyst Ahsan ul-Haq, adding supply is not going to be a problem for India since Russian barrels can be replaced by Middle Eastern crude. Next, we have the top news in metal markets. Palladium slid as much as about 9% on Wednesday to lead a sharp reversal in precious metals, while gold shed over 3%, as a retreat in oil prices helped riskier assets stage a comeback following sharp declines spurred by the Ukraine war. Palladium, used by automakers in catalytic converters to curb emissions, fell 4.1% to $3,050.78 per ounce after hitting a record high of $3,440.76 on Monday, driven by fears of disruptions to supply from top producer Russia. Spot gold fell 2.8% to $1,995.55 per ounce by 15:54 GMT, snapping a four-session rally that took it to within reach of the August 2020 all-time high. U.S. gold futures fell 2.2% to $1,999.40.
U.S. President Joe Biden's ban on American imports of Russian oil and other energy products, announced on Tuesday, does not include a ban on imports of uranium for nuclear power plants, a source familiar with the matter said. The U.S. power industry relies on Russia and its allies Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan for roughly half of the uranium powering its nuclear power plants. The industry has been lobbying the White House to continue to allow uranium imports from Russia despite Moscow's invasion of neighboring Ukraine. There is no U.S. uranium production or processing, though several companies have said they would like to resume domestic production in Texas or Wyoming if nuclear power producers sign long-term supply contracts.
We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector.
Indian traders have sewn up deals to export 500,000 tons of wheat in recent days, and dealers are expected to sign more contracts to take advantage of record-high global prices, boosting shipments from the world's number 2 producer of the staple. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has fanned fears over supply disruptions from the Black Sea region, which accounts for 30% of global wheat exports. That has sent global wheat prices WV1 to a 14-year high this week. India is the only major global supplier of wheat at this point, thanks to massive surplus stocks at home. The rally in global prices and a record slump in the Indian rupee against the dollar also make wheat shipments attractive to Indian sellers.
That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.